The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCMedia News, the City Council delays a second vote on the appointment of a new police chief. The debate and community discussion around the appointment causes one member to resign. We speak with her and the individual who will fill the vacant seat. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, April 24th, 2025. This is FRC Media News. I'm Keith Tebow. This week, the Fall River City Council again took up the appointment of Interim Chief Kelly Furtado as the full-time leader of the police department. The debate ended, however, when Councilors Sean Kadim and Cliff Ponte objected to the vote, delaying the appointment to the council's next meeting on May 13th. 2 weeks ago, the council on a 5-4 vote rejected Furtado's appointment and recommended that Mayor Paul Coogan begin the search process for a new chief. Councilor Ponte said that with the mayor not conducting a new search for a chief, he circumvented the opinion of the council and those within the community who sought a transparent process to select a new chief.
It's about principle, okay? It's about integrity in government and credibility of a Fall River City Council, an honorable, duly elected body. I think, to my colleague's point, the city deserves better than whatever happened behind closed doors. Whatever dealings were orchestrated behind closed doors, whatever outcomes occurred there, the city deserves better. The residents of Fall River deserve a legitimate process, in my opinion, not a political act crafted behind closed doors. So I ask my colleagues, what message are we sending the rank and file, the men and women of the Fall River Police Department, or an up-and-coming superstar in another department that might want to be a leader somewhere else? We've essentially told every dedicated person who aspires to be in leadership, don't bother applying, don't bother going through the interview process, because the decision's already been made. That's not leadership. It's a direct insult, in my opinion, to what I believe is merit, honor, and fairness.
Councilors were still questioning Chief Furtado's appointment following the circumstances around the firing of former Chief Paul Coogan last month. Coogan resigned in the fall as chief and sought to return to his position as captain. An investigation alleged that Chief Coogan had stored 3 firearms not registered to him in his station locker and left items that were deemed a threat to Chief Furtado. Councilor Brad Kilby supported Chief Furtado 2 weeks ago and plans to do so again, based on the support from the department's rank-and-file officers.
Many police officers that I respect stood up and clapped. That was not artificial. I've seen a lot of artificial things in my life as an attorney. That was genuine. So, I'm sitting here, and at the beginning of the meeting, we all have conversations here and there. I'm struggling with this one. This is a tough one. I'm struggling too. But I went what I thought was right. I voted for her, not because of Mayor Coogan, and notwithstanding my personal relationship with a family who, and I've gotten calls from people and messages from people that I respect, I voted the way I think I should vote. I went with the Fall River Police Department in terms of what I think is in the best interest of the department.
Mayor Paul Coogan said he resubmitted Chief Furtado's appointment, confident that the vote would be different than the one taken 2 weeks ago.
We felt that we had it. We were hoping we had more than one, but we were pretty sure we had one. And again, you know, people vote different ways, different times, we might have lost one. But at the same time, I thought that, again, she was the best candidate, and we would wanted to do what was best for the police department. Our main responsibility, no matter who's chief, no matter who's mayor, no matter who's on the council, is keeping the city safe, and that's what our focus should be altogether. And just picking the best person to lead that department is where we are now.
Prior to the meeting, a local media report called into question the qualifications of Councilor Laura Sampson to participate in the vote for chief, citing her brother John Ferreira's role as president of the Police Department's Patrolmen's Association as a conflict of interest. The publication also asserted that members of the FRFD were receiving services at Councilor Sampson's Behavioral Health Center, We Care Health and Wellness. Councilor Sampson called the allegations a danger to her clients and staff.
By the time patients come into my office, they are on the brink of suicide, they are on the brink of death. Mental health is an issue. The stigma surrounding mental health and people not wanting to come in and be brave enough to come in to seek help from a professional is real, and many people die over it. And the article that was posted today with a simple records request from a real journalist would have done a simple records request to find out if I, as a city councilor, am receiving funding from a city to funnel people into my counseling practice. That is an erroneous lie. That irresponsible reporting has caused unintended consequences to innocent people. My oath was to protect my patients. And now, because of irresponsible reporting, my patients are at jeopardy. They are calling, fearing that people are calling and wondering if they're in treatment, if because I'm an elected official that they could be outed because they're in counseling at my place, whether it be a firefighter, a taxpayer, a homeless person. I see all different types of people. Shame on the reporter that put that out there. And because my patients are in jeopardy because of the decision that I made to run for public office to serve my community, I put them in jeopardy. I resign effective immediately to protect my patients and my staff.
We spoke with former Councilor Sampson this morning, who says during her 3 years in office, she did develop thicker skin, but feels the media report is another example how free speech can lead to the spread of disinformation that can be damaging to individuals.
It's okay to question my brother as a union president. It's okay to talk about my ex-husband being a police officer, but there are things that are sacred and off limits, and that is the mental health world and who comes to counseling, who doesn't. I would never confirm or deny anybody that comes to counseling because it's private. It's very, very private information. That's not the fight that I wanted anymore. I have a new fight now we've got to be able to stop people from being able to just say whatever they want on a hearsay. What he's not only damaging the world that I work in, but he's damaging the credibility. People, and I don't want to say just he, because it's a culture. People can just go online and say anything, and it's become the norm, and then it's become factual without any backing. And so the bigger fight that I have now is this isn't acceptable behavior, and it discredits your world. It discredits journalism.
Prior to this week, Ms. Sampson had already made the decision that she would not seek re-election when her term expired at year's end. During her 3 years on the council, she admired the respect shown by her colleagues despite differences of opinion on issues. She's also proud to have led the effort to spend $2 million to expand opportunities to youth across Fall River.
Although it may have been 1,000 children, families were affected by that. It was able to help businesses. Children were able to try something new, build self-esteem, build community connections. I am so proud of that. If I could have put in more money towards that, those are the things that were controversial to a lot of people, but will have lasting effects on families and children. And so I'm proud of that. So I'm proud of some of the work that I did and some of the resolutions that I filed. I'm proud of the votes I've taken. I stand behind all of them and the connections that I made. I really enjoyed my time.
With Ms. Sampson's resignation, Ricky Tiff has been appointed to fill the vacant seat on the council after being the 10th place finisher in the 2023 municipal election.
I thought about wow, it's like a Cinderella, it's like one day you just like spinning and everything, it's all eye on you now. So it's like you wake up and you see like news everywhere on post, Facebook and stuff. It was just like I'm excited, we're overwhelmed, but I'm also nervous at the same time because this is a timing that a decision that need to be made, and Fall River is right now is on a melting point of breaking down.
Councilor Tith says he's prepared to make some difficult votes in the coming weeks as the new chief's appointment will come up once again before the council, and the 2026 fiscal budget is expected to be released next month. With the appointment, Councilor Tith is the first city resident of Cambodian American descent to be elected to local office.
As always, as a community activist, my goal is to help people, individual, not just only the Cambodian community, but all people of walk of life, which I got involved a lot in the city. Anybody that need help, I always go there. There's no judgment of what ethnicity they're coming from, because I feel that if I'm have passion for helping people, so I shouldn't have it be divided by any culture or any other background.
It's been 3 weeks since city residents have had the chance to obtain nomination papers to run for mayor, city council, or school committee in this year's municipal election. Here's a list of who's taken out papers thus far. No new candidates have sought papers to run for mayor since the opening week of nominations. Mayor Paul Coogan is seeking election to a 4th term. Others showing interest are Carlos Caesar, perennial candidate Michael Vandal, Alphonse Hathaway, and Gabriel Boomer Amaral. 9 residents have taken out papers to run for city council. They include incumbents Linda Pereira, Andrew Raposo, and Paul Hart. Also showing interest are Laura Pacheco, Nathan Sylvia, former city councilor Christopher Peckham, incumbent Brad Kilby, newly appointed councilor Ricky Tith, and incumbent council president Joseph Camara. There are 4 individuals who are showing interest in running for school committee: Randy Scott Dudek, appointed council member Colin Dias, Gloria Sadler, and Krista Lynn Cormier. The last day for candidates to submit their nomination papers for certification is July 19th. The city's preliminary election is scheduled for September 16th, with the municipal election slated for November 4th. FRC Media will once again be offering our resources to candidates to share their opinions on the issues with the voters of Fall River. This week, we had the opportunity to speak with 2 of the potential challengers to Mayor Paul Coogan. Carlos Caesar has long been an active member of the community, serving for many years as the president of the Flint Neighborhood Association. Mr. Caesar resigned his post last fall and decided to throw his hat into the ring.
I think now is the right time because things getting worse and worse by the year, election after election, and I decided to run last November, believe it or not, when I went to vote. And I look at that name and I didn't know who to vote for because I was going to vote for the same, doesn't matter what I was going to vote. So I thought to myself, next year, I'm going to promise myself that I will have a different choice, not to be the same. To vote for the same.
Mr. Caesar says one of his priorities is to lower the tax burden on residents through conducting a forensic audit.
I don't know for what reason people keep forgetting about what people want to do when people get elected. One of the things is, do you know how much it's going to cost? I mean, how much money have we spent and the taxpayers not getting any results back? So we're going to spend another $1 million, but how many millions we're gonna save? How many mistakes we're going to find? How many accounts that we're going to find that, that those accounts that when somebody's in trouble, I found an account with $5 million, so nobody needs to get fired. So I truly believe that it's a lot of money that forensic audit can actually fund, and that's money on taxpayers' pockets.
Mr. Caesar says he doesn't have all the answers on how to run a city, but plans to assemble a team to help him make informed decisions.
I'm not a politician. I never pretended to be one. I don't want to be one. I will tell the way it is. I don't have to lie. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, that's fine too. Because at the end of the day, what I'm doing is to make the difference. And what I'm telling people is, by September, when you go to that box to vote, you will have what I'm looking for, what's going to be my goals, and what's going to be what I'm proposing to do if I get elected. And take it from there.
Alphonse Hathaway is using the mayor's race as his first foray into public office. Mr. Hathaway currently is a laborer for a local real estate company and also works with a regional professional wrestling operation. He says he wants to focus on making Fall River more affordable.
I've been talking to business owners. One thing that the business owners want, as I've been collecting signatures, is lower taxes and lower mortgages. That's what they're looking for. Yeah. Tenants in the city that I've been talking to, they want rent control of some sort, and I do have a plan for that. I think that rent should be based on your income. Seniors and vets shouldn't have to pay rent because they have enough struggles in life medication-wise.
Mr. Hathaway also looks to make the city cleaner.
We have a lot of trash in our city, and that's a big thing. Graffiti's another one. 9 out of 10 parks in the city of Fall River, I don't know if the people of Fall River are aware of, but 9 out of 10 parks are destroyed with graffiti on the playground, trash everywhere. The city's gone neglected way too long, and it's time that we need a new person to do this stuff.
Mr. Hathaway says he's making headway, collecting the 300 signatures of registered voters needed to qualify for the ballot.
What I'm doing is, when I greet people, basically, I'm running for you. What you want is what you're going to get. Split down the middle. So there's some people that don't want it, some people that do. So this is going to be a real simple fix. I'm going to be balanced, I'm going to be equal, and I'm going to be for the residents of Fall River, and nothing more, nothing less. I'm also going to start making sure that City Hall starts doing their job and working with the citizens and the businesses of our city.
The March unemployment rate in Fall River dipped from its level in February. The jobless rate sits at 7.8%, down 0.5% from the 8.3% figure the month prior. The rates for most of the communities surrounding Fall River and other regional gateway cities also fell last month. The state's unemployment rate rose 0.1% to 4.4%. The funeral mass for Pope Francis will be held this Saturday morning in St. Peter's Square. The pontiff passed away Monday morning from complications of a stroke and irreversible cardiocirculatory collapse. This week, Diocese of Fall River Bishop Edgar de Cunha released a statement on the Pope's passing, saying in part, Pope Francis leaves a legacy that will remain with the Church and the world for generations to come. His emphasis on the mercy of God and the spirit of synodality in the Church are trademarks of his papacy and his humble personality. He touched the hearts of countless people with his love, his faith, his humanity, and his humility. Bishop de Cunha will celebrate a memorial mass in honor of Pope Francis Monday, April 28th at 7 p.m. at St. Mary's Cathedral in Fall River. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Phlebotomist, Grifols Plasma Donation Center, located at 370 Rhode Island Avenue, seeks a full-time phlebotomist responsible for assisting in determining the suitability of donors. Job number 224-25295. Operations Assistant Manager. Dollar Tree, located at 529 Quarry Street, is looking for a full-time operations assistant manager, responsible for assisting with all operational tasks within the store. Job number 224-07573. Pharmacy Technician. CVS Health, located at 4171 North Main Street, is seeking a full-time pharmacy technician to help and support the pharmacists dispensing over-the-counter and prescription medications. Job number 224-19467. Child Care Worker, Atlantis Charter School, located at 991 Jefferson Street, is looking for a full-time child care worker. For more information, call 508-646-6410, extension 1362. L3 Harris, located at 275 Martin Street, Suite 103, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Lead Project Engineer, job number 223-62509. Software Engineer Manager, job number 223-94602. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
What's happening in Fall River this week in terms of real estate news and economic development? We check in weekly with Kevin Lawrence. He's the editor, publisher, and owner of Fall River Development News. You can find all of his great information on Facebook. Kevin, how are you?
Very well. Happy to be here once again, Keith.
All right, let's go through the lineup this week. People may not know, but Fall River had an indoor, sort of like indoor golf facility.
Yeah.
Actually in a place that's not really, I mean, people know where it was located,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't know that it was there unless you walked in. Well, that indoor golf club is actually closing. Phil is about that.
Yeah, it's been shuttered. The Seven Hills Indoor Country Club, located on the bottom of President Avenue at 1040 North Main Street in Fall River. It's adjacent to the D'Angelo's. The business originally opened up with a golf simulator that you could utilize back in March of 2024. A year later, it's been closed. A for rent sign is now attached to the storefront, and the windows have been covered up with paper. So that is gone, and hopefully they'll lease that space out so someone can utilize that spot in the near future.
All right. We always like to talk about restaurants on this segment. Let's start. You mentioned D'Angelo's. A lot of people may remember D'Angelo's location on the corner of Plymouth Avenue and Pleasant Street.
Yes.
Well, they closed down. Another restaurant went in there. They shut down, and now they're looking for a new tenant.
Yeah, so this has been a property that's high visibility. It's a vacant restaurant that's been sitting idle since September of 2023. The spot is now for lease. This is at the intersection of Pleasant Street, and the actual address is 10 Plymouth Avenue. It was formerly that D'Angelo's restaurant sandwich shop that closed back in 2019. The building was most recently occupied by Ket's Empire Restaurant. That shut its doors in September of 23, and the spot's been sitting vacant ever since. It's owned by the D'Angelo Real Estate Company, and they're trying to finally lease it out. They're going to pair it up with a property that's adjacent to it at 34 Plymouth Avenue. It used to be the old NEP meat warehouse. They tore it down like 15, 20 years ago. It's just a vacant parking lot right now. So they're looking to redevelop that entire corner consisting of 10 Plymouth Ave and 34 Plymouth Ave. And hopefully there'll be a new lease on life for that spot sometime in the near future. But they're aggressively working it now, where it's just been sitting idle for over a year. So hopefully something will come in. That's a very visible spot in the center of the city.
Yeah, I know that one of the things that I noticed with that restaurant, even when D'Angelo's was there, when there wasn't that other parcel of land that was included, was not a lot of room to people to park, get in and out. It was kind of a tight location. But if you said if they're expanding that area, there could be, more room for other development in that location. All right. St. John's Club has been the home of Olympio's restaurant for quite some time. And you said this got a lot of play on Fall River Development News. They've announced that Olympio's has announced that they're leaving.
Yeah, they're leaving the St. John's Club. The funny thing about this, they've only been open for about 2.5 months. The spot was formerly occupied by the Azores family restaurant. That restaurant moved to Swansea. Olympio's opened, and now they've announced that they're leaving. They're going to open up again, hopefully in June, they say, at an undisclosed location. So they're leaving the St. John's Club, and they're moving to a new undisclosed location somewhere in Fall River. When we find out where it is, we'll let you know, Keith.
Yeah, I know we did speak about this when Olympios was going into St. John's earlier in the year, February, January, whenever that had happened. So I remember this came up, and boy, it was short-lived for the St. John's Club. And finally, this week, more restaurant news. A chain restaurant that people may not have heard of, but they've got locations all up and down the East Coast. Is going to be coming to the city soon, providing some Mediterranean fare.
Yeah, the restaurant chain is called Naz's Halal Food. It's coming to Fall River. It'll be opening up at 167 Broadway. That'll be adjacent to the Papa John's Pizza. It's a small strip plaza. There's a convenience store, Papa John's, and the new Naz's Halal Food will be located right in between. Their menu consists of rice platters, gyros with lamb, chicken, fish, falafel, or kebabs. They're also known for their burgers, chicken sandwiches, Philly cheesesteaks, and chicken wings. They, believe it or not, have over 41 locations, mainly along the East Coast. There's a couple in Rhode Island. They're in New York State, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Florida, Arizona. And now they're going to be here in Fall River, and they hope to open up sometime in the fall. That was the word I got from the franchise owner. Sometime in the fall, they'll be opening up that new location in Fall River.
All right. Always a lot going on here in Fall River in terms of businesses starting, businesses leaving, businesses transitioning. And you can find all of that and more. Kevin is on top of it at Fall River Development News on Facebook. Please, if you haven't already, like him, share his information, or follow Kevin on that platform. All right, Kevin, we'll talk again next week. Take care.
Thank you, Keith.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Rainey. That's Rain with a Y at the end. He's pretty easy to remember. He's a 4-year-old domestic short hair, black and white. He actually came to us as a stray. And for a stray cat, I will say he's that was clearly out in the street for a time. He is very outgoing, very friendly. He just kind of likes to explore, likes to hang out with people. Since he's been here, we've been working on fattening him up a little bit, making sure he's comfortable. Hasn't been here too long, about I want to say about a week and a half now. But yeah, he would actually be good for, I would say, most homes. He's pretty relaxed, not easily spooked or anything like that, so if you have children, he may do well with them. But if you'd like to meet Rainey, you can come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
Today we have Trinity. She is an 8-month-old husky. She came in to us about 3 weeks ago as a stray. She is still very much a puppy, like very puppy energy. Would definitely recommend someone who has a fenced-in yard, or if you're very active and definitely go for walks and hikes and things like that, she would definitely enjoy that. She just definitely needs the energy to get out and the work with leash training and things like that. She is really good with other dogs, doesn't seem to have any issues. She's just puppy, so she just wants to play with everybody pretty much. With kids, we do recommend over 12 with her, just because we don't know her background with smaller children. And because she is so jumpy and kind of pushes her weight around, we do recommend older children, at least 12 and up. So if you want to come down and meet Trinity, come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. on Channel 95 and the Fall River HD channel located on Channel 1072. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.